And we're back.
We're back.
Week 6 podcast. Oh, I love you too. I love you too. Oh, God, isn't she the best?
She's a whole lot of something.
She's a whole lot of awesome. We're back. Week 6 podcast. Sorry about the delay. We said we'd start at 7. It's 7:10. Thanks, McMillan, for telling us to hurry up. If you're in the chat, let us know, as always. We're going to go over the Week 5 recap, the Week 6 predictions. Jerry is halfway through his first cup of 2 cups of coffee that he poured. So he'll probably be pretty animated, I'm guessing, as he's already
looking for a coaster.
There's
nothing I can do right now.
One around. In any event, where is my other coaster? That's a great question. I'll find it later. So let's get... Oh, wait. Yep, got it. Let's get right into my matchup, and as I predicted, Window gave me the hands. I can't necessarily say I'm surprised. I had myself losing this matchup, but I let Ruby down. I mean, ultimately, the biggest problem for me, and let's do like good news, bad news. The good news is, I finally got a performance out of Preston Williams I was pretty happy with, and you know, this is what I was hoping he would do all year, this kind of performance. And Mike Gesicki had a quietly decent day. Derrick Henry did fine.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like my team was terrible. The bad news is this man right here, Dak Prescott. So Dak went down, and the vultures in our league immediately start telling both you and Daryl contacted me about trades for Dak. You just let me know he was injured. Yeah. Daryl immediately contacts me, he's injured, and then starts making trade offers. You also made trade offers this week.
Well, you came to me with trades, so don't act like I was over here vulturing from your team here.
Look, I literally
just said, I was like, oh shit, Dak broke his ankle. Here. Shout out to Window in the chat. As he leaves me. Yeah, no. All I did was tell Sean, hey, by the way, your boy just broke his ankle. It was pretty gruesome. I'm sure everybody has seen it at this point. I think it was a compound fracture with the dislocation of the ankle. You're going to have a bad time. He comes out of nowhere with me being like, oh, I guess we need to make a trade for Rodgers. And I was like, okay, we can talk about it. He's like, no, let's talk right now. This is at like 7 p.m. on Sunday. As if I'm the one coming at him with these trade offers. This fucking asshole. Well, I don't know where... I told him not to bring the dog this time. He insisted on it. Now I'm here having to fill dead air time. But yeah, if we really want to get into the rest of his team, it was a lot of mediocre from another... Like, Odell Beckham, falls back down to earth. Was from his 38-point day or whatever it was last week, back down below. Hi, Window. I see you, but I'm on a big delay. I've already acknowledged you twice now. I don't know how much of a delay you're hearing this audio on, so...
Sorry.
Did she crap on the floor?
Yep, my team.
This fucking guy.
First time that's happened.
But yeah, so... A lot of mediocre from the rest of his team. Window's team puts out another, just fucking solid...
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Alright. Dope. Okay. Just for you, Window. Just for you.
Alright. I'm back.
Alright. So.
Okay. Sorry, dog crap on the floor like my team took a crap on that lineup. Okay. So, one of the big things here is with Dak's injury, I had a couple options. I debated between A, making a trade with Jerry, B, making a trade with Daryl, C, kind of riding it out. Jason Smith was also in contention, but nothing ever materialized. With you, it was either going to be obviously Wilson or Rodgers, probably Rodgers. With Daryl, we were really talking more, I think, Kyler than anything else. And Kyler for OBJ was a legitimate possibility. But what I did was instead took, I think, Stafford and Bridgewater as a kind of makeshift QB committee for the rest of the season. And I think all but 1 or 2 weeks they each have a good matchup. So I'm going to try to ride it out on the rails because I just think if I give up OBJ, I really don't have enough in the tank to get to the playoffs. So we'll see. I mean, right now, I said I think to you, this matchup cements Window as a likely playoff team, and it also it took me from I would say I was in the kind of the likely, the lower playoff tier, and I am now in the playoff bubble.
Yeah.
Because Dak was putting up 30 to 40 to carry my team.
Part of the problem is, like, Zach Ertz just goes out and puts up another dud.
Every week. I mean, what has he done this season?
He's done absolutely nothing. Pretty much, the way I heard it described the other day is that pretty much because of the injuries to the Philadelphia Eagles, who's the number one wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles right now? It's like Travis Fulgham or something? Yeah. So pretty much what I've heard is that they are running a cover one on everybody except they're doubling Ertz all day long. And because what else can they do?
Right.
Make somebody else beat you that's not Ertz. And they just don't have anybody else to do it.
Right.
Devontae Adams missing another week doesn't help.
And I had Kenny Galladay out this week too on bye.
Yeah, so
this was a week where I was hurting for players, and that's why I gave Window the nod.
OBJ just really comes back down to earth. Like, at some point you have to start to wonder, like, is like that 10-point range kind of his normal day?
I mean, he's had 3 bad weeks, 1 excellent week, and an okay week.
But I'm saying, though, he's done 4, 15, 8, then he had that 36, and now he's back down to 9. I'm saying, like, maybe just, like, that 10-point range is his normal.
Right.
I mean, obviously, he's not going to get you 2 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown every week as a wide receiver.
He's like, a low floor, high ceiling player.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the bottom line is, I still think, even with my quarterback committee, this lineup, I got rid of Anthony Miller, so it's really going to be Henry, Taylor.
Well, we'll get into your future stuff later, but obviously we're just recapping this.
Henry, Taylor, Beckham, Adams, Galladay in the future with a tight end that's probably not Zach Ertz from now on. Yeah. Might be something. Let's talk about how lucky Daryl and Nick are.
We didn't even talk about Window.
I mean, okay, so I think you did it earlier.
I was getting into it, and then you started cleaning up shit. No, so like Window's team just like 110's not an amazing day.
It was enough when I had the depleted lineup.
It's a good day. It's not an amazing day by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like the top teams right now are averaging in that like 125 to 130 range.
Right.
110's not amazing. It's good enough to get a win. He finally got. I mean, he got another good day out of Gardner Minshew, but James Robinson comes back down to earth, like I said he would. But Mike Davis just
continues
is McCaffrey. Is McCaffrey even that good?
It's a question it's fair to ask.
I cannot believe the amount of production that Mike Davis has been putting out in McCaffrey's place. Now, my question is, has he carved out a role for himself even when McCaffrey is back? Look at what he is doing. I mean, he came in midway through that game against Tampa, still gave him 11.5. 19, 19, and 25. The crazy thing is, look at his receptions.
That's what did it. I mean, we always thought McCaffrey was the receiving back.
He's got 30 catches in 4 games as a running back.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It might just be that that's Carolina's system.
When Saquon went down, it's like, no, I mean, you don't want the next running back in New York. The team's just bad. It's just you wanted Saquon. I thought the same thing about McCaffrey, and I guess I'm wrong.
You never wanted. Here's the thing, though. When McCaffrey could come back this week. He's eligible to return this week, but
he is not coming back this week for sure.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure he was still left off, so it's at least another week.
Either way, I mean, the timetable for Mike Davis being the guy in Carolina is dwindling, and it could be a committee. But I don't. I mean, Mike Davis is no longer going to be the guy.
No, obviously, but he still has McCaffrey.
Like, right, but here's the thing. That could actually hurt Window if you think about it. If they're both splitting carries,
it's tough.
If it turns into a committee,
both.
Right, you're not going to start. I mean, you could, but then your upside is capped.
Yeah. I don't think that it's ever going to be the situation of a couple years ago in New Orleans with Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, where they were both top 10 running
studs.
backs.
Right.
I don't think that's how they would do it.
Well, it can't because it's about it's McCaffrey's value is also tied to those same receptions. They're not going to both get 9 catches a game. It's insane.
Yeah, no, like exactly.
So their upside is ultimately capped. But Window has enough. He's 4-1 right now, and he's putting up a healthy clip. You know, if you're having 110 when you have 6.4 out of George Kittle, 6.4 out of Tyler Lockett, and 7.5 out of one of your 2 starting running backs, you're gonna be okay.
I mean. Yeah, I still think that this is more likely to be where James Robinson's going to fall.
Sure.
He's not this 28 points a game player.
But you don't need more than that if you're getting production elsewhere.
Oh, sure. I mean, if you're getting it, but like...
He had
obviously. I think he played I think you were 9th in points scored this week.
something like that. I had a
so
really bad.
Obviously, he had a good matchup this week. He would have lost to 1, 2, 3, 4. He was 5th. Yeah, Wendell was 5th in points scored this week, just in the top half of the league.
Okay. So moving on. Can we talk about how lucky Daryl and
fantasy
Nick are?
football can just the fantasy football gods smile upon Daryl and Nick to go. What is that? 9th in points scored. No, I'm sorry, 8th in points scored.
So it's
I'm sorry. I'm off.
It's 7th.
7th.
But still, 7th in total points scored and getting wins. And they've done this. This is like the second time they've done it. Daryl, I have the screenshots. Daryl's reaction upon learning of his team's victory was, and I quote, "I don't know how I'm 3-2. Lucky as fuck."
Yeah.
Man's not wrong. Of course, I want to talk about something later on with his team. Obviously, there was some big news that happened that's relevant to both our slap bet and to their team.
I desperately hope that Clyde Edwards-Helaire just doesn't touch the ball for the rest of the season and Le'Veon Bell sneaks into the top 10.
Of course,
it would be amazing.
Slap me.
I mean, no, it's not even about the slap anymore. Like, at this point, obviously, when he misses, 5 weeks, like,
right.
I lose the bet. Like, there's no way he's actually getting there.
Right.
I feel like at this point, though, if he's able to crack, like, the top 20, that's a win when you miss 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Like,
here's the funny thing, though. This is literally, I'm going to quote Daryl, the text that I got before they knew where he was going. Because the 3 landing spots for Le'Veon Bell, who went to the Chiefs, were Kansas City, Buffalo, and Miami. Yeah. And Daryl says, "Come on, Le'Veon, sign with the Dolphins and get revenge on Gase. Don't fucking sign with the Chiefs, you fuck." That was in all caps, that last sentence.
Of course he goes to the Chiefs. I think Buffalo probably would have been his best bet. Who is it? I'm assuming that Sean Sucks 69 is McMillan.
Yeah.
Okay, he says to take your shirt off for some reason.
It's Oasis is why.
Oh, okay. Anyways, back to the point here. I don't know. I thought Buffalo probably would have been his best bet. I feel like he gets the most work in Buffalo, and obviously they're contenders, but
he would have also
or you
been
can just be handed a Super Bowl ring.
He could get a ring. He could take the easy road to the ring. He could take the harder road to the ring and be the guy, or he could be the guy on a rebuilding team that could be in maybe even better contention next year.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Apparently, McMillan wants to see that chest beard. Why are you wearing a sweater?
Shut up.
Okay.
So, can we really quick just
where is David Johnson? Just
every week status update on David Johnson.
22, still in the flex range. There we go.
He's not going to finish there.
I don't know.
He's not going to finish there.
Again, we didn't even really make a bet about that one, right?
No.
It's
just like I shit talked him for the first 30 minutes of the week 1 podcast.
Jerry, this is the hottest take you've ever said in your life. There's no way he's in the flex range. No. I mean, just no. Like it's just a lot of average here. I mean, obviously these scores are below average.
No one got 100.
I just don't know how he didn't when he got 30 out of Mahomes, 16 and he got 30 out of or 60 out of 3 players.
It's the rest of the team did nothing. Deontay Johnson has been a huge disappointment. We talked about, and it was, to be fair, a major factor was
Terry McLaurin did nothing. Well, Deontay Johnson got hurt.
Well, Deontay Johnson got hurt, and also and that didn't help. But also
he's also not playing this week.
Who's the Chase Claypool? Had the monster day in Pittsburgh. Yeah, so
that was after Deontay Johnson went out.
Did you switch chairs with me? By the way, I just realized. Dick.
It was requested in the chat. I didn't want to do it.
Fuck off. He goes, Sean, sit in his chair. I dare you. All right, fair enough. Fuck you, window. So, the thing is, I talked about it in the Week 1 podcast. Deontay Johnson, Ben Roethlisberger can support 2 wide receivers in fantasy
obviously.
Football. And he can. It might be Chase Claypool.
The talent's there, obviously.
Right.
They just force-fed him the ball when he was on the field.
And he did not disappoint.
No.
But the question really out of this matchup isn't how lucky is our fucking Daryl and Nick's team and the fact they don't deserve to be 3-2.
Just, you look at the team. Does that look like a team that has a winning record?
No, I mean, no. Here's the thing. They are still, they're on the playoff bubble by virtue of this luck. If they didn't have this luck in their favor, they would probably be, on the outside looking in of the playoff bubble. They're solidly in the playoff bubble because of that. So, the question really here isn't about Daryl and Nick's team. It's McMillan's. McMillan's now 2-3. He started off the season super hot. He's
been up and down.
He's had a couple bad weeks lately. Is McMillan's team a playoff team? Because he's also now on that playoff bubble. Are you looking for like his?
Yeah, I'm trying to find
like,
his schedule. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. So
he started off not super hot, 97.
But then he had the 170, 150.
But he's been back down to earth, though, 107 and 94.
107, though, can win you weeks. We've seen that.
Well, it can, but the average person right now...
Probably around...
The average score right now, I'm assuming, is somewhere around 115 to 120.
Right, but 110 was enough to get Window 5th place this week. I'm just saying,
No, it can.
I'm surprised. His record probably deserves to be 3-2 rather than 2-3. And he hasn't had a week worse than 95, which again isn't good, but he hasn't had like a terrible week yet. Does McMillan make the playoffs? Is a real interesting question because he's definitely like firmly on the bubble, I think.
Where does he sit right now? Is he in 6th right now?
I think he is in 5th. I think he is out of the 2 and 3 teams. He is the best 2 and 3 team by virtue of having like 50 more points than my team.
Obviously, right now, yes, he's in a playoff position. Obviously, he sits in 5th, and even if he does get another loss, he's still, like you said, 50 points. Yes, right now, if you're betting on it right now, yes, McMillan is a playoff team.
Right. It's just it's a couple bad losses and close ones. Moving on to our third matchup, we've got. Oh, this is
this week.
Week 6. Sorry, skipping
around.
ahead. James gets a much needed win to go to 2 and 3.
I mean, he gets his
Alex bye. And the title of the podcast.
Yeah.
The bell tolls for Berchock.
I mean, who knows? Maybe he gets new life with Le'Veon Bell going to the Chiefs because he has not had really anything out of him this year because he's been hurt.
Right.
He's finally going to be able to reinsert him back into the lineup.
Right.
I'll say Kenyon Drake, who's been a huge disappointment as a second-round pick, finally had an okay day.
Signs of life.
An okay day. Leonard Fournette's been hurt. Ronald Jones had an okay day. The problem is, like, when you only get 6.94 out of your quarterback.
Or 4.8 out of Juju.
Juju, yeah. It's just like, I mean, and obviously there's a wide receiver in Pittsburgh who drops, almost like a 40-burger. It's a tough situation for him.
Can we go to the transactions for a second just to see, did Alex make a move on any quarterbacks this week? I want to know. There were some interesting... or if you can go to like the transfer news.
Well, he does not have. He picked up Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Okay. So I had thoughts about doing the same. I was looking at. Obviously Fitzpatrick has a great matchup against the Jets. I don't like the Miami's schedule against the pass as it moves forward in the season, which is why I opted for the QB committee when I lost Dak. But obviously you can't hate against Fitzpatrick playing this week against New York.
Yeah. One of the big things I talked about last week with James's team is like 2 top 5 running backs. 2 top 5 running backs still put in some work. 17 points each. McMillan, that's window.
Yeah, small and 33's window.
And that's also with Chris Godwin not playing, and obviously you saw that Dalvin Cook is hurt, not playing this week, but he has the perfect handcuff in Alexander Madison.
He's right now. James is actually having kind of a rebound. Like you said, he has Madison for Cook, which is a big get. He has Carson. He has Hollywood, who had a good day. He has David Montgomery, who had a good day. Chris Godwin didn't play and is likely going to be a starter on his team. A.J. Brown had a good day on his bench. Darius Slayton had a good day on his bench.
A.J. Brown had an okay day. I'm pretty sure the majority of what he had was one big catch.
Big play guy.
Obviously, but I'm pretty sure like 12 of his points came off of one catch.
No, I get it, but that's who he is. He's always been a big play guy. And again, I'm not saying he's going to get that production week in, week out. I'm not even saying he's going to start that guy, but it's never a bad sign to have like a bunch of guys in double digits on your bench.
Yeah, no, obviously, yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, I feel like A.J. Brown's numbers are a little inflated because it's kind of like, we'll get into it when we get to my team about Miles Sanders. Like, Miles Sanders looked like he had a great day, 22 points. He had a 74-yard touchdown. Right? It's like, okay, it's a lot easier to get to 22 when you have one play that gets you 14.
Right. Yeah.
So I think, like I said, I'm pretty sure you got like 11 out of that one play. But no, like, obviously, A.J. Brown is someone who he expects to start. Chris Godwin is someone who he expects to start, and he was able to have a decent day without either one of them.
So again, James...
I've been in talks with him about trades for tight ends. He has 2 really solid tight ends.
Yep.
Unless he's planning on starting, I mean, maybe he just likes having the depth of one gets hurt, he has another one there.
I started 2 tight ends this year.
But it's a rare thing to do.
It's rare.
So like maybe he does it. But I don't think he does, and he's kind of content sitting with his 2 tight ends right now.
Well, part of what helps is he doesn't really have a glaring hole in his lineup, maybe wide receiver.
So a little bit, like, the wide receiver issues have also mostly stemmed from injuries. A.J. Brown being out, Chris Godwin being out.
Right.
I mean...
But he really doesn't have a glaring hole in his roster, and Deshaun Watson finally had another good game, so...
Yeah, I mean, Deshaun Watson could be on his way up, no longer having Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, that'll help.
Hold him down. But you also got to look at, like, it's not like he was having terrible days.
No, but he wasn't having good ones.
No, I mean
he played one with, like, his worst day was against Baltimore's defense.
Yeah, he's been in that 15 to 20 range, and he finally went a little bit above it, 24.86. Right.
But you expect more out of Deshaun Watson. I mean, I wonder when he drafted him. You know
I mean, I don't know exactly where he drafted him, but, like, I don't know. When it comes to quarterbacks, like, 20 is kind of the clip you're looking at.
Yeah, you need 20.
Because, like, no, if he has 30, it's a great day.
Right.
If he has, like, 15, it's, ugh. Like, you want that 20 to 25 range anyway.
If he has 40, he's Dak Prescott before week 5.
Yeah, but... I mean, I said that he wasn't going to keep up this production, and...
Okay, come on.
I'm just saying, how did he get a lot of his production? 3 fucking rushing touchdowns. Stop running the fucking ball. You're the quarterback. As soon as he runs the ball again, what happens? You have a 300-pound lineman roll up on your ankle, and you're done for the year.
He's a really nice guy. Don't be a dick.
I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. I'm saying that what happened to Carson Wentz when he kept running the ball a few years ago, in the middle of an MVP-type season?
Right.
Tears his ACL. What happens on 4th and inches for the Chiefs last year... When they're clearly in a good position.
I get it.
Patrick Mahomes dislocates his kneecap and has to be out for 4 weeks. Like,
right.
It's things you don't need him to do. You have Ezekiel Elliott. You have Tony Pollard. Why is Dak running the ball?
Double threat.
It's like they hate.
They hate Zeke.
Like, well, no, it's not that they hate Zeke. It's like, do you not want your franchise quarterback to be healthy? Like, I just don't get it.
No, they don't want to have to pay him. Can we have our normal session of... You look so dejected and defeated.
Fuck Zach's team. It's not good.
I will say this.
No.
Even when I lose, it does my soul good to just see the salt levels rise every time you look at Zach's matchup with another 140 points in a win.
Josh Allen came down to earth a little bit, only 16.5, but, like, this is first, like, semi-down week. But 2 things here. Number 1...
Is this a mollywhopping, by the way? It's over 50 points.
It was a big one. I think the next one's going to be the
mollywhopping?
I mean, yeah. So
both were over 50-point margins.
So DK Metcalf, I said originally, of all the wide receivers he had, DK Metcalf is the one I like, especially because he got him in, like, the 7th round.
Right.
Pretty sure he's wide receiver number 2 right now.
Yeah.
He's been the guy. He's been great. Josh Jacobs had 6 fucking points in the 4th quarter of his game. He gets a fucking rushing touchdown. Then Kansas City turns the ball over, and the Raiders return it to the 2. And they immediately hand it to him again. He gets another 2-yard touchdown. And he finishes with 21.5 points. I'm like, he literally got like 15 of those points with like 10 minutes left in the game. And it just like pissed me off so much. Like, because here's the thing. They were up. They were winning. And he wasn't being able to do shit. 6 points in the 4th quarter. 2 garbage time touchdowns. This is bullshit.
20-point day.
Kareem Hunt obviously is a stud when Nick Chubb's not going to be there.
Yeah.
I think like Robert Woods and Devontae Parker, I honestly think this is kind of like their ceiling. Like this 10 to 15 is like them on their good days.
I disagree that that's Devontae Parker's ceiling.
His best day this year has been 16.
I agree, but he's also like, and granted, the 16-yard, Devontae Parker has not had the touchdowns. He got 1 last week.
He's got 2 in 5 weeks. Like
2 in 5 weeks for a number 1 wide receiver who is arguably like a...
How many wide receivers do you think had 16 touchdowns last year?
That's a good question. But we're not. That's not 16. That's 8. I'm saying.
But I'm saying though, like
he's on pace. Actually, he's on pace for what? Just extrapolating, like 6 touchdowns on the year, 6 to 7.
Yeah.
I think it's a low clip for Devontae Parker.
I think that's right around what I would expect out of Devontae Parker.
Okay, so let's really quick.
I'm saying though, like 1 per game is amazing. If you're getting 16 touchdowns out of a player, that's pretty amazing, right?
Devontae Parker stats by season. Let's find it. Where is it?
Let's see. 9 was his biggest last year.
Yeah, I'm saying that when he finally turned into like when he finally was the guy.
But yeah, right now he's on pace for 7. His best he's ever done, he's had 9.
Okay,
fair. It's not like, oh my god, he's so underperforming.
What I'm saying with Devontae Parker is Part of the problem with Miami, and this is something that I'm going to get into when I talk about Jason Smith's team in a little bit. Miami in the first, I think it was the second play of the season, the big signing Byron Jones goes out at cornerback.
Okay.
And since then, their defense was starting a rookie cornerback in Noah Igbenogany along with Xavier Howard. And their pass defense was suspect. And they were getting just run all over and really passed all over week in, week out. Last week against San Francisco, the Dolphins mollywopped the 49ers.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. They manhandled
them. And I'm telling you, watching that game, Byron Jones was the difference maker. Because all of a sudden, Byron Jones, Xavier Howard are now on the outsides. Noah Igbenogany's in the slot. He's playing as like a third wide receiver or a third corner when they need him in the nickel. All of a sudden, Miami's pass defense is buying enough time for the D-line to get there. And the reason that's important is because the offense is getting on the field more. They're getting more chances. And with those more chances, Ryan Fitzpatrick's just throwing balls. They don't run Myles Gaskin is putting average numbers up every week. Devontae Parker is the guy in Miami. That's why Preston Williams put up 18 points in that shellacking, and Devontae Parker had 100, how many yards did he have this week? Sorry, 2 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. He could easily hit imagine that 10-catch, 110-yard day with, let's say he gets a touchdown. All of a sudden it's 24-point day. 2 touchdowns.
Okay, but also let's say
30-point day.
I'm just saying, I think the 12 target day is kind of the anomaly of the year, isn't it?
I mean, he's probably averaging somewhere around 6 targets a game, 6 to 7 targets a game. But again,
I mean, if you take out the 12, obviously if you take out the 12, he's averaging 5 targets.
I think also
you factor that in. He's giving you
part of that was this past week was because the Dolphins had a game plan. They were going to target. They were not targeting the number 1 corner for San Francisco. They were targeting, I think, that one corner who was like a practice squad guy, okay. And whoever he was on, they were targeting. But anyway,
so if you include the 12 target days, getting 6 to 7 targets per game.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I get he's the number 1 guy, but even being the number 1 guy on a team, which, no disrespect, but not a playoff team.
Probably not.
Not a playoff team. Do you think Devontae Parker's a Pro Bowler this year?
Barring something changing, probably not.
My point is, I think this range that he's in right now, 7-8 touchdowns, 1,000 yards, probably about what he is. He's a wide receiver too.
That's fair.
For fantasy.
But again, that's all Zach needs out of him when you have Josh Jacobs putting up 20, Kareem Hunt putting up.
Sure. I mean, but all I'm but my whole point here was I feel like he's averaging 11.6 for the season. Okay, Robert Woods is averaging 13.2. I feel like 15 is more on their high side. That's all I'm saying. And again, if you look at their totals,
I don't disagree.
At any week, they might only get you 7.
I get that his wide receiver, but again, remember, he had Mike Williams put up 25 on his bench. He had Jamison Crowder put up 21 on his bench.
Mike Williams did get a big bump with Keenan Allen leaving the game early.
Yeah, and Jamison Crowder put up over 20. So it's not like he doesn't have wide receivers who are producing on his team. In fact,
Jamison Crowder's looked really good when he's been on the field.
Yeah. 10 to 13 targets a game.
Yeah, I mean, he missed those 2 weeks, but just the 7 for 115, 7 for 104, 8 for 116.
Yeah.
Apparently he's
he's
the
jet to own.
Apparently he's the only one they're looking at.
Yeah. He's missed 2 weeks, and he is a flex wide receiver.
Yeah. Obviously, his running back situation, if
anyone gets injured,
if Josh Jacobs or Kareem Hunt gets hurt, he has no one else to start.
He's in real trouble.
Who does he start?
Probably James White.
Yeah, James. Maybe Chris Thompson. Maybe.
I'd guess James White.
Yeah, probably. But do you ever trust one running back in? There's Sony Michel. There's Rex Burkhead. It's tough.
But he's the PPR guy.
I'm not saying I don't know if Zach is worried about it that much, but if either of those go down, obviously he's gonna have to do something. I don't know.
So can we talk about Jason Smith just for a little while?
He needs to change his team name.
Well, no, at this point he needs to keep it because it's clearly that's what's causing his bad juju, and that's why I'm so glad that it continues to happen. Lamar Jackson, another disappointing day. Mark Ingram didn't do anything. Evan Engram still can't crack double digits. Amari Cooper, terrible day with that going on.
Aaron Jones and Melvin Gordon both on buys, but then Melvin Gordon gets the DUI. Who knows? Just your luck.
And then he has an illness. You know what his illness is?
getting a DUI.
He loves getting drunk and driving cars.
So, Mark Ingram at this point, you can't ever expect anything but when he assuming Melvin Gordon is starting, he still has 2 serviceable running backs.
Sure.
Lamar Jackson, the thing that's scary about him with this situation is that he probably had just his 2. He gets Philadelphia this week, another team that has not played good defense.
Right.
But Washington, Cincinnati, Philadelphia. If he is averaging you 15 points a game against those 3 teams, what does that tell you moving forward?
Yeah.
I mean, he does also have a pretty good situation in the playoffs. Cleveland, Jacksonville, and then New York.
Right.
But I don't I think maybe you have to hit the panic button on Lamar Jackson right now. Obviously, Jason will have to hit the panic button earlier because he drafted him in the second round.
Yeah, I mean that's why you don't draft Lamar Jackson in the second round.
Obviously, that's why you don't draft Lamar Jackson in the second round. But
thank you for planting that seed, by the way, at the draft.
I don't know. I didn't want him to.
I'm so glad you did.
It was a joke.
Apparently it wasn't taken as a joke. Here's the thing, too.
He knew he was going to have a down week this week. He had to start Darrell Henderson.
Sure, and to be fair, I'm talking a lot of shit, but his down week was better than my down week, so I can't throw too much shade. But my quarterback broke his ankle in the first half. What's your excuse?
Lamar Jackson. I mean, you can't. Here's the thing. Are you telling me that going into this week you wouldn't have picked Lamar Jackson to have a good day against Cincinnati?
No, of course I would.
It's not Jason's fault that Lamar Jackson puts up 13 in a blowout.
I'm not saying it is, but what I am saying is he's and to be fair, again,
he just is
circumstance isn't helping Jason Smith. His defense, the Bills' defense, got trounced on by Tennessee, put up -7. But his kicker Jason Sanders, great kicker by the way, got 22. So it's overall his defense and kicker got him 15.
Yeah,
that's what you need. That's what you expect.
That's what you're that's still a good week for those 2 positions.
Yeah, he just didn't get production elsewhere.
Yeah,
Darrell
Henderson though got him 20 points.
Just to be clear, Jason Smith is now, correct me if I'm wrong, is now in I'm playing for the wild card territory. Is he not?
So it's so tough.
I know
with everyone being so close.
I know
5th place right now is 2-3.
Right, and one game. He's one game
back on 5th place, and I'm pretty sure he's in a somewhat good position when it comes to the overall points scored. Right, he's not in a terrible position when it comes to those. So he's at 550.
Yeah,
he's 1 game back. So, okay, he's still
he's 30 points back, 20 points back. Because I'm the wild card right now.
So yeah, he is in. Yeah, so obviously he's 70 points back on McMillan on 5th place.
Right.
But yeah, no, he's 22 points back on you.
Right.
For the playoff spot.
Right.
So it's not a terrible position. He still can make the playoffs, especially you still love Aaron Jones.
Right.
You expect Lamar Jackson to do better.
Right.
I don't know why this isn't loading.
Here, hold on. Stop it. Huh. We're going dark, boys.
0 dark 30.
All right. There we go. So, anyway, I think we only have one more matchup to cover.
Yeah, can we go just click back into it really quick? I just wanted to take one last look at this team. Apparently no, we can't. You expect I'm assuming Melvin Gordon comes back and is actually going to be playing. He still has 2 serviceable running backs. You still like Mike Evans. You still like Jarvis Landry.
Still has 3
Lamar
quarterbacks.
Jackson, you expect to do better. Like I said, I still feel like he can still be.
Why do you have 3 quarterbacks on your roster if you have Lamar Jackson? It makes 0 sense.
Maybe he's looking to make a move. Maybe he's trying to sell.
Yeah, trade Tom Brady. See how that goes out for you.
I don't think that'll happen. But Jared Goff's been a top 10 play? Yeah, just barely.
Yeah. Goff's fine.
But Lamar Jackson has been 11, and he's been awful.
Yeah.
I feel like you might be able to still sell Lamar Jackson on someone who needs a quarterback.
Yeah, I would have traded for Lamar Jackson if Zach or if Jason had made the right offer, but I wasn't desperate to get Lamar Jackson because of how disappointing he's been.
Yeah, so getting to the last one, my team rebounds. I despite me having a 70-point day, I still felt good about my team.
What kind of a win is this?
I kind of... So I feel a little bit bad because what does Brad only lose to 3 people this week?
Right.
He's 4th in points scored and just got mollywopped.
There it is. I was waiting for it. When you put up 170,
he got 30 out of. I knew I was never in jeopardy, but the fact of going into that Tuesday night game that he actually gets like 45 points and still loses by 55.
Again, it's an inflated score because your defense and kicker combined for over 40. Which is I mean, I understand it's Baltimore's defense.
So it's not just Baltimore's defense.
It's Baltimore's defense against Cincinnati.
Obviously, they're not getting 26.
I get it. I'm just saying, like, it's obviously an inflated score. Baltimore's best performance of the season. They're a good fantasy defense. Yeah. I would say, like, 15 was what I thought their ceiling would be until this kind of a drubbing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously
they had a pick. They had a touchdown. They had 7 sacks.
They had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. I mean,
they only gave up 3 points.
It's Cincinnati, and guess what? Guess who they get again later? Oh, fuck! It's week 17. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
But look at the playoff matchups.
I get it. Cleveland, Jacksonville, and Giants.
Yeah,
I get it.
I mean,
that's why everyone wanted shares of the Ravens this year. And again, I get it. But
obviously they're not putting up 26.
The reason I was bringing up the Ravens defense because again the defense and kickers putting up 40 will inflate your score.
I mean, Will Lutz I think is in that 10 points range, so like a little bit above.
If you expect, usually I say about like you expect like about 15 out of your kicker and defense combined. Usually, if like barring like just very normal.
I guess I don't know. I guess I don't know what the normal is. If I had to just throw out a random guess, I probably would say maybe 20 is what you're hoping for.
No, I disagree. I think look at the.
That's why I said.
Listen, really quick sample size.
Hoping for
13. 7.5, 11, 18, 20, 11, 17, 15.
It's also a weird week with negatives, but yeah.
8 and
again
41.
A weird week with negatives. No, again, I said 20 is what you're hoping for. It's not necessarily what you're going to get. Maybe 15 is more.
I would say 15 is about average. So what I'm saying is like, or like, you know, like around 15 is like kind of like an average, good, like an okay
obviously,
week.
I got a lot of production out of those two positions. Like,
right.
Like I said, I feel like Will Lutz, like 15 is totally in his range. Like, obviously, I don't expect another 25 plus point performance out of the Ravens.
And you explained already about Miles Sanders. We don't need to go back into that, but I'll just say like obviously
like, that one big play. Again, the big reason that Miles Sanders is such a big play with that is also like. The Pittsburgh defense is actually really good against the run.
Right.
He gets that one big play, it spurs a 23-point day. Like,
right.
I think Miles Sanders can be a 20-point game player when he's not playing arguably the best run defense in the NFL. But it's just awesome that I got it.
But you literally have 110 points between your QB, your RB1, RB2, your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. You have 110 points there.
Yeah, my team's pretty good.
You can't lose when you're doing. I mean, you can, but it's
yeah, you can.
You can, but like if you're putting up those numbers, you're a playoff team.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt at this point in time. Like, and I don't think there's anyone betting against me making the playoffs at this point.
I think you're a playoff team as much as it kind of pains me.
Even if I fall to the bottom 5 right now, I'm pretty sure I'm like 140 points up on the next one.
Right.
Like.
You're in good shape for the playoffs.
This is one year in particular where I nailed the draft.
Yeah.
I don't normally nail the draft. I normally like do some work in free agency and everything, but like this is one year in particular where I I nailed the draft. I don't think is there anybody I'm starting right now that I picked up off of waivers that's actually doing anything?
I don't know.
I drafted the only one on my starter lineup this week that I didn't draft was I did draft Gronk.
You drafted Gronk.
But again, I'm not even starting him this week.
Right.
Like I have a lot of people on my bench that I picked up, but
Brad disappointing to be fourth in scoring and lose, but
like you get put up 117 in a loss, like.
But his team is okay. Bold decision. I'm just gonna say it. Bold decision to bench Joe Mixon.
Against the Baltimore
get it
defense?
Against Baltimore, but like, it's Joe Mixon. Like he started Josh Kelly over Joe Mixon.
Josh Kelly has looked really good.
I get it. I'm just saying it's a bold. I'm not saying it's a bad play. I'm saying it's a bold play.
I 100% get it. Like I said, obviously it hurt. Like especially a week after he dropped 39.
That's what I'm saying.
But against Baltimore, it's tough.
But it's Joe Mixon.
Yeah, it's tough.
And you believe like with Joe Burrow, you believe he's gonna like they're not gonna stack the box against Joe Mixon when they have Joe Burrow. Again, overall, like it's good that he got life out of Todd Gurley. He got a good day out of Todd Gurley, good day out of Ryan Tannehill.
Todd Gurley, like I don't know if you know, I'm pretty sure Carolina is the worst against running backs this year. I don't know if that's not.
I don't know.
Pretty sure it's the worst. Like this is also Todd.
Where's
Gurley.
the chat at? Come on, chat.
Windows said he had to roll out.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Come on, anyone who's watching, find out.
I might be the only one watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I get why he wanted to start Josh Kelly. I get it.
It's a bold move.
49ers defense losing him 5 doesn't help either.
But again, he's got enough players on his bench that I think he'll be able to manage
Leonard
the bye week.
Fournette, I still believe Leonard Fournette's going to be the starter. Raheem Mostert coming back off an injury, didn't want to start him, literally got the projection. CeeDee Lamb looks good. I mean, and I don't want to say that this is the case, but I don't think that the wide receivers for Dallas are going to have a big dip in production.
What, with Andy Dalton?
Yeah, like Andy, did you see him take over for that? Like, he can still throw. Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
Andy Dalton can play. He's arguably the best backup in the league.
Arguably, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think Andy Dalton is the thing about that's going to help Andy Dalton is the system's not going to change. Aside from like less mobile. Dalton's a ginger fuck, but he looked good. Well done, McMillan. No, like Dalton. I think they're not gonna deviate from what they've been doing all season, which is passing the ball over and over and over again and not running the ball for some weird reason.
I mean, okay, I don't know how. Let me see what Zeke's touches have looked like on the running. Like 22, 14, 12, 19. Like
they probably lean on the run a little bit heavier once Dak was out of the game.
Probably. I mean, they'll probably lean on the running game even more because of Andy Dalton.
Yeah, they'll need to stack the box.
Andy Dalton, like I said, if Andy Dalton, the first, what was it? Like, he had 5 10-win seasons in a row.
Yeah.
Like, his stats are essentially identical to Dak through the first 4 years of their career. Like,
he's serviceable.
Andy
Red
Dalton
Rocket, baby.
is absolutely serviceable. And I don't think it's a huge drop-off for him. Like,
I thought about adding Andy Dalton. I did.
Do it.
Again, it's just...
Like,
I can't justify having 3 quarterbacks.
So, Brad currently sits in 8th.
But he's fine. I mean, he's right around Jason Smith, where it's like he's actually above Jason Smith, I think, in total points scored. He's right below. Sorry, right below.
So yeah,
6 points.
Yeah, again, he's 30 points behind you. But again, only 1 game back on 4th place.
Everyone is mathematically in it right now.
The only one,
except for Alex.
Well, Alex is still in.
Alex is dead.
Alex is what? He's 1-4.
Dead.
So to get into the top 5, he's at 2 games. He's only 1 game back on 5th place, though.
I mean, yes,
that's what's so crazy.
But it's not just that. It's that every week there are going to be teams losing. Yeah, he could go on a streak, but he has to put up points to go on a streak. He's averaging
dude. Who was it that was averaging Hold on, let me see this now. Let me scroll over it.
Alex is averaging what a game? 466 divided by 5. It's a little over 90 a game. That's not going to get you to the playoffs.
Obviously, that's not what you're expecting to get you to the playoffs. But we've also talked about his team. He hasn't had Michael Thomas all year. He's getting Le'Veon Bell back on a much better offense. Those 2 things alone might be the kickstart that he needs. Can we get to the full standings? Where are the full standings?
Right there. They're at the top.
Oh, okay. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, points against. Really quick. Who's the lowest on that? Zach with 484 through 5 weeks. No, if all of a sudden he gets a streak of only having to play against a couple of 90-point games and he wins 2 or 3 in a row because he has 2 of his best offensive players, in 3 weeks he could be in 3rd place. Is it likely? No, I don't think so. But
no one's dead yet.
How much can you hit the panic button on a team that's probably done as bad as he possibly can and is 2 games outside of playoff position while you're getting back Michael Thomas and Le'Veon Bell?
But one factor you haven't considered yet is, again, the COVID of it all, right?
Sure, but
we're in a season where we're in a season where after.
Quick question on that. I do want some clarity on that. It's week 8 is when everything's
8
set in stone, right? So right now we're coming up on week 6.
If 8 happens without a hitch,
yeah.
If 8 is in the book solidified, and the season is canceled after that, whoever we had the contingencies in place.
There's a contingency of
right
between total points and
record.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So
there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Like I said, I've officially hit the panic button on his team, but like I said, I feel like that's just some good news for him. Michael Thomas coming back, although I think the Saints are on a bye this week.
Yeah.
Not great. Le'Veon Bell and Le'Veon Bell, fuck. Damn. Okay, so he's got at least this week, which again, maybe after this week it might be done, but after this week because Le'Veon Bell's not playing this week either.
Right. Michael
Thomas is on the bye.
Right.
After this week, which I'm assuming he's going to get a loss this week, especially because he still doesn't have those 2 of his top 3 picks or whatever it is. He's another further game out. It makes it a lot tougher. If he had both those players coming back this week, it'd be a different conversation.
He's dead.
I don't want to say dead yet. Like I said, if
you had gloves the whole time, yeah, we're in the Rockies. I see McMillan.
I got it.
Week 6 predictions. Let's get after it.
I don't want to say Alex's team is dead yet.
It's dead. It's dead, done, dusted.
It's on life support.
Hey, speaking of McMillan, I think I gotta go to box score. Here on. Speaking of McMillan, I get my McMillan matchup this week.
That's not doesn't mean what it used to mean.
No, it's not my bye week anymore. Have I played Alex yet? I want to play Alex. Ooh, this is nice. Look at this.
Yeah, they've always had this.
Really?
Yeah.
The little like check marks and whatnot. All right, fair enough.
I don't think we've ever looked at these through the box scores though.
Let's start doing it.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
So this is actually going to be, I think, a really interesting game. As I said, I now have a quarterback. Is there a way to show the bench?
Yeah, you click the thing that says
show bench. Duh, idiot. So this is one of those situations where, again, I added Teddy Bridgewater and Matt Stafford. Starting Stafford going up against Jacksonville, who made Ryan Fitzpatrick look like Patrick Mahomes. Playing against Patrick Mahomes. This is actually, again, a lot of matchups where I think it's a lot closer. Like I think like every one of our matchups, aside from like quarterback, are players in the same general tier. And so I think this could honestly go either way.
It could.
Right now I'm projected to win by 6.
So it hurts McMillan a little bit. No Alvin Kamara, no Darren Waller this week.
Right.
That hurts. No Deontay Johnson.
Yep. Meanwhile, I finally don't have. I finally have my starting lineup.
You'll get Devontae Adams back.
I remember I've had so far Henry, Adams, and Galladay have all had buys.
Everybody's had bye and injury issues at this point.
Right, but I'm saying mine have been primarily buys, not necessarily injuries.
Okay.
So like in theory, those 3 guys I'm starting the rest of the season, barring some crazy happening. Who you got? I'll tell you what, Kansas City Buffalo is gonna be a good game to watch, just as an aside.
So if I feel like I'm leaning towards you this week. If Alvin Kamara and Darren Waller were both playing, I feel like I would give the nod to McMillan. But he also doesn't have he gets Julio Jones back against Minnesota, who has not looked good. He gets Terry McLaurin against the Giants. James Conner gets to go against Cleveland. Myles Gaskin gets the Jets.
There's a lot of good matchups.
Oh man, I don't know. This is gonna. I feel like this will be
I
close.
also don't think my matchups are that bad.
No, they're not that bad.
I mean, Devontae Adams against Tampa Bay is not great, but not terrible. OBJ against Pittsburgh. Who knows?
I mean,
the big thing is
who knows what Odell you're gonna get.
The big thing is Matt Stafford throwing to Kenny Galladay, right, against Jacksonville. And sorry, but Jacksonville's pass defense has been suspect. I mean, what are they? Here, I can pull it up. Hold on. I'll just do it like this.
They've been 20th this year.
No, 25th against the pass. 20th for wide receivers, 25th for quarterbacks.
But yeah, I mean, you were talking about Kenny Galladay.
Well, I'm saying, but Matt Stafford's doing. I mean, either way, I'm saying like their pass defense, whether it's quarterbacks or running backs, is good for fantasy.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's an upper half defensive matchup.
Obviously, yeah.
So you're picking me, and I appreciate that. Reluctantly, it sounds like.
I'm giving you the slight nod. Like I said, if Alvin Kamara and Darren Waller were playing, I'd definitely give it to McMillan. I do really like McMillan's matchups this week. Like, if he finally gets Julio back.
This is a big matchup in the sense of like this is probably
this is a playoff position thing too.
Yeah,
like,
this has huge playoff implications.
Dropping to 2-4 or moving up to 3-3, like this could be big.
I hate doing it. I hate doing it.
You're gonna pick McMillan.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm picking myself, and I don't like doing that in a big matchup week because I feel like it's bad karma. But I have to believe myself this week that I'm gonna have a bounce back week with this is my starting lineup aside from Dak. And if my quarterback committee strategy works out, I have to believe that Jonathan Taylor's eventually going to break 20.
So, quick question. You're going to start Zach Ertz against Baltimore? When he's already been underperforming?
Maybe, maybe not. I honestly think if I start anyone at tight end that's not Ertz, it's probably Gesicki.
I mean, he gets the Jets.
He gets the Jets.
First of all, he's been your most productive
tight end.
and he gets the Jets.
I honestly think there's a reasonable chance I start Gesicki just.
It's hard to bench Zach Ertz. Didn't you use your third round pick on him? Second
round? No, it wasn't anywhere like that. I think it was.
Oh, that's right, because it was Kittle and Kelsey. That's my.
Yeah.
So maybe he was like your fourth or fifth.
Like lower round, but either way,
No, it couldn't have been that low though.
It was pretty low. I'm pretty sure. Let me.
I highly doubt it was lower than sixth.
Let's see. Hold on.
I'm curious now.
League draft recap. It was round 5.
Yeah, that's what I said. I knew there was no way it was after 6. So round 5. But I'm saying though, when you're using a 5th round pick on a tight end, it's like just super disappointing that he's. I mean, where has he fallen? Is he even in the top 20?
No, I don't think. I mean, let me double check. What is with my internet today? He is. Apologize for the stream, gentlemen and ladies, if you're watching. I'm sure we get all the ladies watching this.
This is how we're gonna get the chicks.
Yeah, totally.
17. Okay, so still in the top 20. Not terrible, but not 5th round pick.
Yeah,
obviously. So yeah, like I said, I'm giving you the slight nod.
Fair enough.
Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets the win here. Like I said, he does have good matchups.
Honestly, this one could go either way, and I don't like. I'm gonna restart this. I don't like picking myself in a must-win week, and it's not like it's must-win, but like I don't know what's going on with the internet today.
Would you rather take a guaranteed tie this week?
No.
If it was 55% you're going to lose, 45% you're going to win, or 100%.
If you try to end a game in a tie.
Have you watched the whole thing yet?
I've watched the whole thing. Ashley and I binged the whole thing.
It was pretty good.
So good. If you haven't watched it,
I'm annoyed with the ending.
No, it's great.
Nah.
It's the hope that kills you.
Nah,
and here's the thing: they're gonna play in the championship next year, and they're gonna get promoted. Yeah, that's me the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Also, like, okay, so we're talking about, just so you know, we're talking about Ted Lasso. It is, I think the first 2 episodes are free on Apple TV. And then after that, there's like you get a free trial.
Free trial for a week, and it won't take you a week to watch it.
It's so good. There's 10 episodes. It's about an American football coach.
I think everyone here knows what Ted Lasso.
They've all seen the commercial. If you haven't, look up Ted Lasso. The commercials. The NBC did like 2 commercials.
I'm pretty sure I've showed it at every league event.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's so good. Arlo White and that velvety, yummy voice of his sounds like Miles Davis farting Elle McPherson farting in Miles Davis trumpet. All right, going on. Daryl and Nick up against James. These are 2 teams that I didn't expect to have a 3-2 and 2-3 record, respectively.
This is another situation though where like playoff implications
on the
are
line.
on the line.
There's a lot of games like that right now.
Like Daryl and Nick sitting in 4th at 3-2. If they're able to pull out a win here, get a couple games up. Like, because their point scored isn't amazing. No. So, like, this could be a big one. They need wins. This could be a big one.
Meanwhile, James trying to make his record relevant, trying to get back to 500. Dalvin Cook out. Chris Carson.
But Alexander Madison in.
Fine.
He had the handcuff for that.
He doesn't have the handcuff for Chris Carson.
He gets Chris, but he gets, well, he's on a bye.
But exactly. That's
but he gets Chris Godwin and A.J. Brown back.
True.
The big thing is, like, again, he's just leaving Jonnu Smith on his bench. It's just like you're leaving points on your bench. He's the 2 and 3 rated tight ends. Like, he can get, I feel like, somebody better than Marquise Brown in your slot to replace Jonnu Smith right now.
Would you, if you could, would you play Jonnu Smith over Marquise Brown?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. But I think you can put somebody in there better than Marquise Brown because the tight end position is just so scarce.
I'll tell you, looking at these lineups just on paper, I know you're like you. I don't know. I don't know if you're bigger on Daryl next team than I am. I just think
I'm not big on their team.
I think James's team is not like hugely better, but just better.
I mean, I said it last week when I was giving out grades. I'm like, I mean, I don't think he's had a very good year, and he still has. I mean, he's had wide receiver issues all year long,
right,
with injuries. He has 2 top 5 running backs.
He
still has Deshaun Watson, who's underperformed. He has 2 top 3 tight ends. Like, no, he has good players.
What I'm saying is
I think he needs one more really good wide receiver.
It doesn't help, obviously, that Nick Chubb and Tevin Coleman are out, and especially with Nick Chubb. I mean, obviously, that's a huge loss. But it also doesn't help that CEH, not this week, but eventually is going to be losing value to Le'Veon, presumably.
And here's the thing. Le'Veon Bell is on a 1-year deal.
Yep, prove it.
Not only is it a prove it, but they just used a first-round pick on Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yep.
They want him to be the running back there for the next 7 years.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we don't need to give you 400 touches this year. We can only give you 150 and give 150 to a probably still talented but old running back who he's going to run till anyways.
Yep.
If you can take away 150 touches off of Clyde Edwards-Helaire when you don't need that this year.
Sure. Boost his career line.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think they are going to run the hell out of Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Because why
not?
We're getting him on a minimum contract that the Jets are paying for the other $6 million of it.
And from a fantasy perspective, that is a backbreaker for CEH.
Yeah, like it's tough.
Yeah. I really do think this is when you're going to start to see, like, if Daryl and that's why this is a huge matchup for Daryl and Nick, because they need a win here. If CEH's value drops and Nick Chubb's on the IR for an extended period of time, and
if they have a loss here, like they're immediately, I feel like having now fighting for the wild card.
If that,
like,
I mean, again,
they've gotten lucky. They're in 4th at 3-2.
You're talking about losing your number 1 and number 2 picks in terms of like your first and second rounders. One due to injury, one not losing, but like his value's cut in half.
And Nick Chubb's value is already decreased because Kareem Hunt.
Right. So,
although he was looking good until he got hurt.
I'm saying, but he's on IR with a right MCL sprain.
He'll probably be back after the bye.
Probably.
That's my expectation.
Right. So I'm going James.
Yeah.
Pretty much for the reason we talked about.
I mean, he loses Dalvin Cook this week to injury, but he does have the handcuff and he gets a great matchup.
Yeah.
Like this is the best matchup Alexander Madison's probably going to get.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously the projections are pretty close, but yeah, I'm going with James.
Big. You were talking about like matchups with playoff seeding on the line. Number 1 and number 2
both
teams
are solidly probably in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, 5-0, it's tough to fall out of the playoffs.
Yeah, no kidding.
It can happen.
It would take a lot.
It can happen.
It would take a lot.
But
it would be an epic disaster.
This one, I'm lurking there in 3rd place, and if you want to buy, you probably need to win this matchup.
I mean, if Zach wins this matchup, like, is your head gonna explode, or what's gonna happen?
So he's starting Frank Gore this week.
That's not great.
It's not great. Josh Jacobs and
but I mean,
DK Metcalf
but Gore is gonna get carries, right?
But he's been getting carries and he hasn't done anything.
No, but Le'Veon's gone.
Yeah,
I mean, he was on IR. I understand.
He's been getting carries and he hasn't done anything. Like
he's starting because Josh Jacobs is out, DK Metcalf's out, and for why isn't he starting James White though? I mean, not that I want to tell him that.
I mean, who knows? I mean,
weird.
I mean, because James White's also like, who knows if he's getting any touches? That's why. Frank Gore, he's getting the touches.
I mean,
maybe he falls into the end zone.
He's averaging 4.5 points compared to James White's 8, or even Jamal Williams.
He's having to start 3 wide receivers that I don't like. Haven't liked them all year. Jamison Crowder has been better than expected, but I said it a couple of weeks ago.
Here it comes.
No, like
you're picking window.
I'm picking window for a couple of different reasons.
Are you ever gonna pick Zach?
I have picked Zach. I haven't picked him to lose every single week. Like no, I've said I don't like his team, but like I think so. Again, I think James Robinson gets as much as I think he's coming back down to earth. He gets a better matchup against Detroit. Mike Davis has just been great. Robbie Anderson has been amazing, all things considered. Like he's just the key part of their offense every single week.
Right.
I don't love that he's currently starting Devontae Freeman.
No.
But he gets a matchup with Washington. Like I would expect him to start Devin Singletary, but who fucking knows what he's going to do at this point?
Right.
I don't know. Like, obviously the projection is close. I mean, I think Josh Allen is going to have enough. I think Josh Allen got a little bit exposed last week against Tennessee. And I think that the 30-point days for Josh Allen is over. Especially because I think people are also going to take a look at what just happened to Dak, and they're going to tell Josh Allen, you need to fucking slide.
So
it's too easy just to get rolled up on.
So I think here's the thing. I mean the this one of the reasons I like this new format we're looking at these scores in is because of these little comparisons, because it's nice to see like the advantage between them. There's a substantial difference between Josh Allen is better than Gardner Minshew in terms of fantasy.
Absolutely.
Kareem Hunt from fantasy perspective is better than James Robinson, obviously.
But from
that I'm saying from that point on, Mike Davis over Frank Gore, absolutely. Tyreek Hill over Robert Woods, absolutely. Robbie Anderson over Devontae Parker from a fantasy perspective, absolutely.
This year, yes. Yeah.
Kelsey and Kittle is I think close.
Flip the coin, but
yeah,
Kelsey's better. Like obviously, Kelsey has been the number one fantasy tight end.
Kittle's been injured though, and Kittle's averaging more per game. Ultimately, like,
I mean, he missed 2 games. That's the big one, and he also had a 32-point day. Like, look at his weeks. 7. Injured, 32, 6.
I get it. I'm just saying.
I mean, but to say, he's averaging more.
But he is.
You drop a 50-point day, and you have two other 2-point days. Like,
do you think George Kittle can't do that again? Well, he was injured.
Do I think that George Kittle is going to put up another 30-point day for the rest of the year? No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I do not think that will happen.
Okay.
I mean, I bet that he does not.
You know that even if you go back down, even on a what was I thinking? Oh, even on a subpar day against Miami when they literally blanketed George Kittle, he got 8 targets.
Okay. I mean, you're asking me if I think he's going to get 30 again. No.
Okay.
Like,
we'll see. We'll see.
Are you ever betting on any player getting 30 in a week?
I mean, I don't think it's... I mean, I think Kelsey and Kittle, in terms of a player perspective, and even a fantasy perspective, are in the same tier. I agree.
No, they're obviously in the same tier. They went 2 picks away from each other.
30's a lot. Okay, I see your point. I see your point. Anyway, I
think Travis Kelce's just been better this year. He's in the better offense overall. He has Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball, not... I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo's been hurt. Maybe he's back again this week because he was in and out of the lineup last week. Like,
head-scratching decision in my... I know it's Washington, but head-scratching decision to start the Giants D in IMO. I get there aren't a lot of good defenses out there, but come on.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with the Giants defense.
Right. I don't trust them. But it probably was a waiver wire pickup if I had to guess.
Colts against Cincinnati, solid though. Colts have been surprisingly good overall.
The big difference and where I'm going to kind of draw the line is the flex spot, and I think where I'm going to make my pick. I disagree with this little Devontae. I'd rather have Devontae Freedom over Jamison Crowder.
It's literally just about the projected points.
That's
what the check mark is.
I mean, I would rather have Jamison Crowder even against Now I'm going back on myself.
I mean, Devontae Freeman was...
Because here's the thing.
Devontae Freeman was more involved in the Giants' offense than you would have expected it
and
for his first week.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Jamison Crowder...
Because he got 19 touches.
I didn't look at the matchup. They're playing Miami, and this isn't a homer thing. Like, for the thing I was talking about earlier with the Dolphins' defense getting Byron Jones back, Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, one of them is going to be on Jamison Crowder at all times because he's the only offensive weapon the Jets have at this point.
Yeah.
So, I actually don't like that matchup. I was going to give Zach the win here.
I'm picking... A big reason that I'm picking window is that stretch that you were talking about. Mike Davis, Tyreek Hill, Robbie Anderson, or Frank Gore, Robert Woods, Devontae Parker.
Right. And again, it's just, if you look on paper in terms of these teams, yeah, Windows lost Lockett, but Zach's lost Jacobs and Metcalf.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with window as well. Sorry, Zach. So, you get your bye week, you fuck. Do we need to spend time talking about this?
Look at those check marks.
This is so brutal, man. I feel so bad.
Look at those check marks.
I mean, we made this name for the podcast before looking at this, and this just ties it full circle.
Like I said, I get a
Holy
little lucky that he has another week without Michael Thomas and Le'Veon Bell.
His team is just a dumpster fire.
Without those 2 players, it doesn't look good. But on the other side of it, my team just... I mean, it's also a really weird
I hope
week
he beats
where,
you.
Where Austin Hooper, who I just picked up, who's the 20th ranked one, I'm getting a check mark on that too.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. But again, it's because he's starting TJ Hawkinson.
So I'm a little surprised at something that you haven't talked about at all. I mean, you see who I'm starting in my flex.
Chase Claypool.
I would not have picked
How much did you spend on him?
More than I thought I did.
Let me see.
More than I thought I did. Because I remember seeing an amount, I started looking up what's a good amount to spend on him. I then took that amount and I reduced it by about 40 to 50%. And then somehow when I typed it all in, it meant I increased it by about 50.
How do you see? I forget how we do this again. Did this at one point. Oh, here it is. Budgets. Or no, offers report. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I bid a lot more than I thought I did.
All right. So, here
I
we
would
go.
not. If I bid what I thought I did, I would not have gotten him.
467.
I did not think that I'd bid that much.
You dropped almost half of your butt after all the shade you threw at other people.
Did you hear what I just said?
Right.
I thought that I put like 367. I don't know how the fuck I put 467.
To be fair, are you glad you did? Because Zach threw up 401.
Yeah. No. So here's the thing. Who else put up Jason also put up a bid of 300 for him.
Right. Alex put up 148. Window put up 191. Daryl put up 40. Lol.
Close.
So this is the part right here down here that pisses me off though. I missed out on the Dolphins defense, and for all the reasons I talked about that I wanted them from Jason Smith, I missed out on them by $7 fucking. Are you fucking kidding me?
Why would you do a round number? That's weird.
I just thought I didn't think anyone was gonna drop like more than $30 on the Dolphins fucking defense.
3.7% of your budget on a defense. I mean, it's a lot, but I can't say anything right now because I just dropped 46% of my budget on.
Fucking A, dude.
If I'd known I could have won it with. So here's the thing. I wanted to bid just under 400. I accidentally bid just under 500.
Also, speaking of Homer
I really don't remember putting in 467.
250 for.
It's a little high. I'm a little.
Jason McMillan to get the guy window dropped, Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Henry Ruggs has looked okay though, right? He hasn't been bad.
Yeah.
Can you click him really quick just to see? I don't think he's been bad.
No.
Oh well,
He
missed a couple.
Missed
of
2 games,
but
then
I
had
mean,
a
he
big
just had a
game
good day.
against Kansas
Only wow. How the fuck did he have 2 catches for 118 yards? Jesus. Holy crap! And I mean, he scored a touchdown.
72-yard touchdown grab and a 46-yard grab. That'll do it.
If you're getting the big play.
Yeah.
No. So I would not like when I saw Deontay Johnson is not playing this week. That's why I moved Chase Claypool.
Makes sense.
I was originally planning on starting Julian Edelman.
Well, and you have Russell Wilson out this week, but you have Aaron Rodgers.
And Keenan Allen out this week.
You have Keenan Allen out this week.
And I think, do I still have somebody on the IR? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I have Austin Eckler on the IR.
Jeez, your team is actually tough.
I nailed the draft this year. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
I've had years where I've figured out things on the waiver wire. This is like I feel like this is the first time in a long time that I just nailed the draft.
So I'm gonna pick Alex. Fuck that. I'm picking you.
Look at those check marks.
Jeez, it's so gross.
No, but
sorry, Alex.
Also, like
hey,
I was
he just got
looking at
married.
This,
you know, Mazel tov.
I don't know if what he's doing this weekend, but like this week is so weird with our matchups. Like 7 of my 9 are at the 1 o'clock games. Like 6 of his 9 are. He has 2 in the 4 o'clock. I have like 1 in the 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we each have a Monday night game. It's just like I don't. It's just weird how the games lined up this week. Maybe there's just not many 4 o'clock games, but like the matchups could be decided by 4 p.m.
There's only 2, I think, 1 o'clock games. Jets and Dolphins.
You mean 4 o'clock?
Or 4 o'clock games, rather. There's Jets and Dolphins.
Maybe that's why. But yeah, I mean, these matchups though could be decided by the 4 o'clock games. We might be able to know who's going to win this matchup.
By the 1 o'clock games, we might know by about halfway through those. Lowest scoring projections of the week, and I'm guessing it's because Josh Kelly is.
Jason hasn't touched the lineup. He hasn't put Aaron Jones in his starting lineup.
And I know that Brad has because he's still starting Josh Kelly.
Who's on a bye.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We're doing the podcast as late as we possibly can,
to give
trying
you a
to predict matchups for the next day, and neither one of you have set your lineup.
Don't worry, everyone's watching in the chat, and I'm sure they'll respond to this. It's disappointing.
Damn.
Who you got? I mean, we'll have to do some work on this, obviously.
Yeah.
Mixon's coming into the lineup.
Obviously Aaron Jones is moving up into the lineup.
Yeah.
Mo Alley Cox is coming out. He's a tight end. Does he even have another tight end on his team right now? No, he does not. Okay, so
he'll have to find a tight end.
Back to the pack.
Who is that?
I think that was Daryl.
I think it is Daryl.
Yeah, so calling them, I'm assuming he's calling them lazy fucks, not us lazy fucks.
Daryl thinks you're lazy fucks.
Also, putting in the work at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night.
I'm saying. We could be doing so many other things.
I mean, I'm about to go watch Alabama play Georgia. That's what's going to happen after this.
I'm about to go play with my dog and maybe play some Among Us. We should do a league night for Among Us. It'd be really fun. Anyway, who do you have in this matchup? Again, I think I will say that even despite the fact they haven't put their full lineup in, this could actually be the lowest scoring matchup of the week.
So, I mean, I think that he gets Aaron Jones back.
Melvin Gordon is going to be driving.
I mean, Mike Evans against Tampa Bay. Lamar Jackson gets Philadelphia this week, which should be helpful in theory. Maybe. We'll see, I guess. I'm going to go with Jason It's tough because we just don't know exactly how it's going to look yet. I think the only real difference for Jason's team is that Aaron Jones gets put in there for Mark Ingram. I think that's the only real and I'm assuming that he's going to start the Dolphins defense instead of the Bills. I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So
against the Jets, absolutely.
Yeah, so obviously those are two things that are going to get moved up, which is going to increase his projection by another 8 plus... So another like 10, 11 points into his projection. Obviously he's going to Brad's going to put in Joe Mixon, which will increase his by another 15 points. And then plus another tight end.
I think... Yeah, I'm
leaning Jason.
I'm leaning... It's tough. I'm leaning Jason as well, but I think it's going to be very close. Because Joe Mixon's coming in. It's going to be Tannehill, Gurley, Mixon, Hopkins, Diggs. I mean, those 5 in and of itself, like...
They're all right.
And it's Mixon against Indy's a decent matchup. Gurley against Minnesota's fine. Tannehill against Houston's probably going to be a shootout back and forth. The Titans are a prolific offense apparently this year. Nuke Hopkins, number 4 wide receiver right now. Stephon Diggs, number 6 wide receiver, right now. Like, the only part he's really hurting at is the flex. And would you be surprised if he put in, maybe if Leonard Fournette's healthy, gave him a shot, or if he's not, you know?
I'm pretty sure Leonard Fournette is not playing this week.
What about, and here's the thing.
But maybe CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, and that's the thing. It could come down to the Dallas game. Who does Andy Dalton like more, Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb? That could be the difference maker in this matchup if both of them are starting. So bottom line is, if you gave me a gut check on paper, whose roster I liked more.
Right now, so it's so weird because
here's the thing, though.
A few weeks ago I was like, I like Jason's team so much because you looked at his starting lineup, but then there's just like Jarvis Landry. I mean, now it doesn't look as good. Jarvis Landry
hasn't done anything.
Wide receiver 36,
right?
Mark Ingram, running back 37. Like obviously,
he does help that Lamar Jackson does have a great matchup in Philly.
He should. What did he do against Washington? What did he do against? I mean, he had an okay day against Washington. He had like 24. What did he do against Cincinnati? 13 points. Like, I still think that if Jason Smith sneaks into the playoffs, he has a good starting lineup. Lamar Jackson, Aaron Jones, Melvin Gordon, Mike Evans, Jarvis Landry, Amari Cooper. He has a good starting lineup that he can put out.
He doesn't have a lineup that's going to get him to a championship, but he has. I
don't think so.
I'm saying to a finals. It's not going to get him there, but it could get him to the playoffs and maybe even a playoff win. I think. I wanted to pick Brad so badly this entire time. I was trying to just get myself there. I really was this entire time trying to disagree with you. I hate when we pick the same teams. I like to mix it up, be a little different.
I mean, what are we here doing? We're not here just to say we're gonna pick different things and flip coins and see who wins.
But I like.
You're supposed to make your projection. You're supposed to make your projection based on what you think.
Here's
not about picking the opposite.
I'm not. I listen. We agree more often than not, and I want to make sure I'm picking the best because I want to beat you at season's end. But I really wanted to pick Brad here. I really wanted to try to come up with. I was thinking about different arguments. Can I get myself on Brad's side? Can I get myself a preponderance of the evidence, over a 50% chance that Brad's going to win this game in my heart? I can't get there. I just can't. And the difference for me is, and maybe it's the homerism coming out in me. I love Jason Sanders has been the best kicker in football. He is perfect so far this year. Hasn't missed a kick, and it's got 4 or 5 a week. And they're playing against the Jets, which is a great matchup if you want your kicker to be working. Another thing that's great is the Dolphins' defense having their best performance of the week. Can you go to the Dolphins' defense just for 1 second? How many points did they have last week?
They had 12.
Okay. They had 12 with 5 sacks, a fumble recovery, and 2 picks. Yep. They didn't score a TD, and they gave up 17 points and still put up 12. Mm-hmm. They're playing the Jets, the best matchup of all for all fantasy defenses, and it's a revenge game. A lot of these players can't stand Adam Gase, like Xavier Howard, for example, and are going to be gunning to cost him his job.
I mean, his job is gone no matter what.
Right, but wouldn't you love to be the embarrass him so badly that he gets fired if you don't like him and no player who plays under him likes him? I think, meanwhile, the 49ers defense, starting against Los Angeles, Jared Goff has been a top 10 fantasy QB I think he's been right at 10.
Yeah.
Against the 49ers, who are suspect on defense, especially in the passing game, and have put up they promoted, like, on the defense last week, a practice squad guy who the Dolphins just picked on. You don't think that the Rams are going to watch that film and say, okay, this is what we're going to do? I just think this could be a huge situation where that defense kicker kind of scenario airs in Jason's favor and gives him a kind of a handicap to start the week. Plus, I think Lamar Jackson's due. I think Jarvis Landry's due. He's got a lot of guys who are good players who are having bad weeks in and out. But I will say that a lot could rest on the arm of Andy Dalton. With all that said, I'm going Jason. Talked a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
Can
we just look at the check marks?
Shut up. God, don't masturbate.
It's pretty.
I mean, it is, but I hate it. So, really quick, before we wrap up, again, just a little health check on the league. Zach, playoff team, right?
Almost certainly at this point. When you're 5-0, it's tough.
Window at only actually 4 points above him in total points scored.
Yeah.
Probably a playoff team.
Probably.
You, playoff team. I mean, the three of you guys are like the playoff quote unquote lock.
We're the tier. Yeah. We're the top. We're the top tier of the league at this moment.
McMillan, thanks to that 170-point day,
right in that conversation,
is probably on the inside of the playoff combo. And then you've got Daryl, myself, James, and to a lesser extent Brad and Jason Smith, all on the bubble.
Yeah, I mean, God, it's just so gross because
Jason Smith's points against.
No, but like Alex's points for, it's just like he's only a game back on fucking 5th place. But his next closest thing, he's like 75 points behind the next closest person in that range. Like, which obviously in 1 week you can make that up.
Yeah.
Obviously you can make that up.
You can. I also want to see one more thing.
But when you're that far back, it's just tough.
I was looking at this the other day. The most points against in regular season is you at 1595.7 in 2018. I want to extrapolate out what Jason Smith has because I know for a fact that it's above that.
All right, so is that only through? That's only through regular season, though, right?
5 weeks.
It's only through. But the old record is only through regular season. Through
yeah. It's only regular season.
Okay, so how many does he have right now?
He has 740.71. 740.71. Yes.
And divided that by 5 weeks, times that by 13. What was the record? What was the record?
It was 1595.7.
At this rate, he would beat that by 330 points. if this rate continues,
he would have 1,900 points against.
He would on average be beat by 25 more points per game than I was beat that year.
Holy
or not beat, but put up against me. Yeah, but he would beat my totals against by 25 points per game. If this continues, you have to imagine that this isn't gonna continue.
Please keep it up, boys. Please just keep mollywhopping him. Oh, it's so great. It does my heart good. And then let that be a lesson to you. Change your team names.
So before that, though, what's the next closest? Can you hit the points against? Who's the next closest to him?
It's Brad at 640.
So almost 100 points back. Now, really quick though, just for the purposes of this, so 740.71, and Zach is only having 484.8. That's almost 300 points. 484.8. So it's an extra 255. He's averaging
255. It's 290.
No, 740 minus 484 is.
Oh, sorry, my math.
So, but I'm saying though, on average, Jason's having 50 points more per game put up against him right now than Zach. Which here's the thing. I mean, and that's the big thing is Zach. Yeah, you're 5-0. You're right in that tier of top points scored. But again, you're getting 97 points a game put up against you.
Yeah.
I mean, where am I at? I mean, obviously, I'm first in point score right now. Where am I at overall? I have 594, so an extra over 100 points more on him. So like, but geez, 740 is just It's tough to get wins when you're getting just.
Change your team names. This won't happen.
148 against right now.
He was literally the only person.
Averaging 148.
He was the only person. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He and James both, I think, didn't change their.
Yeah, the Meadowlands Monster was there last year.
Their team names.
But 148 points against. I'm first in points scored. If I had to play against his things every week, I'd be
Technically,
winless.
you didn't change your team name, but you were okay with that because you kept Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. That's the podcast for this week. I don't know how long have we been going. It's been a while.
We started just about an hour and 20.
Okay. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll try to keep it going next week.
Thanks to McMillan, Window, and Daryl for chiming in.
Yeah, appreciate you guys watching live.
We see who doesn't have lives.
Remember what's the date for the football game? November 8th, I think.
I do not know. You want to open it back up? Open up a Facebook page real quick. You just had it open.
Yeah. Thanks, McMillan.
Yeah, I believe it was November 8th was the date that we could get 8 people there. So, Daryl, if you're coming home at all and you want to play football, we're playing football.
All right. 0-0 evidence that that's true. Did Zach put that comment there at when we started and then didn't comment or watch?
This fucking guy. Yeah, 7:05 and then doesn't watch. Fuck that guy.
Also,
I don't know.
Proof of that. Hold on.
Scroll back up. One more. There it is. November 8th. November 8th. Most people can do it. Put it on the board. Lock it in.
Keyshawn.
I'm pretty sure that we had 8 people who said they could be good for that week. So, yeah, we're talking about 3 weeks from tomorrow. Should be solid.
Yeah. So remember that, and then also we're coming up on week 8. After week 8, we'll do our second trimester grades.
Yes, after week 8. That's also again like we talked about. That's when everything gets locked in that the season counts. Second of all, if you haven't already, not like we're in a huge push for it, but league dues.
Yeah. Can you get a list out? I know you're on Facebook, but if you text me, I'll put it on Facebook.
Yeah, I literally have it right here. So currently, we still have both Jason's, Alex, you, and Daryl.
I still owe you league dues?
Yep.
Okay.
Haven't paid me anything for it.
I'll give you cash tonight.
Yeah. So, obviously, we usually do it by
Venmo.
Obviously by Venmo, but usually we do it by the playoffs is kind of the deadline. But obviously with COVID things, if we end things at week 9,
get it there.
We'll try to. That's why I'm saying if the season gets canceled after week 9, obviously don't want to have to be dealing with shit.
Don't be one of Bobby's pussy teasers. Get your league dues in.
All right, guys.
Have a good one. See you next week.